Hi fans, thanks for clicking the Reddit D Rose report. Got a lot of news today. Better get going. NXT's storyline, the invasion storyline, continued last night at WWE Developmental down in Florida. The main event was scheduled to be Daniel Bryan and The Miz versus Christian and Heath Slater, but that didn't happen. The Miz's music played and nobody came out. Christian came out next and talked about what happened on Raw, and then called out Heath Slater. Slater talked about how everything was good to start off on NXT, but then Christian wouldn't give him the answers, so they lost. They ended up losing to the competition, I guess. He and Christian. So then Daniel Bryan then ran out, attacked Christian from behind. The Miz came down next and fought off the rookies with Christian. Miz proposes that they do a pros versus rookies match. Anyway, the Miz cut a babyface promo with Christian and then worked the match as a face. At the ending came the Miz and Christian. They were about to hit their finisher moves on the rookies, and then all of Season 1 rookies rushed to the ring, beat down the Miz and Christian. The rookies tore down the FCW ring before Bryan kicked Miz in the head, and Slater hit the kill switch on Christian. Rookies left with the pros laid out in the ring. Deja vu. The Wrestling Observer newsletter, this is kind of funny. Vince McMahon showed up at the WWE TV tapings this week with 2 black eyes and a cut over one of his eyes that went on to his forehead. Nobody seems to know what happened. Everybody's talking about it, but privately though. And nobody wanted to say anything out loud for fear they might be heard, so Vince never addressed it. And if anyone asked Vince what happened, they aren't telling. And it's described as looking like he was either in a fight or some kind of an accident. Most figured that he was in an accident because if it was a fight, it'd be kind of hard to keep that quiet. Actually, I would like to check out Linda's knuckles. I would. As noted before, the reaction backstage with the NXT invasion on Raw was very positive. The angle was kept secret from almost everyone in the company. The closing angle wasn't listed on the show's format other than just kind of a vague finish. Apparently, the fan voting at this past Monday's viewer choice Raw was legitimate. Of course, WWE was saying that, but however, the choices were laid out so WWE would have control over, you know, what the choices were. Kind of limited down to. Anyway, the current plan is to seriously push Evan Bourne, but it remains to be seen on how committed WWE is on pushing him. The mentality is that they recognize that some of the best stars coming into the wrestling are smaller, and they need to establish that talented smaller wrestler can do a main event. Hey, Shawn Michaels has done it for years, man. He's not the biggest boy around. Gregory Hurricane Helms, remember him? Will return to the ring on Sunday, June 13th at Extreme Intense Wrestling Championship promotion down in Warren, Michigan at the Ritz Hanover Road. Hurricane will face Jamie Cox for the Midwest Championship. The reason WWE officials are so strong on pushing the new stars right now is the realization that so many of the top names like Mysterio, Edge, Triple H, Big Show, and Undertaker won't be around forever. The WWE creative team is currently happy with the Michelle McCool and Layla team. Some felt that the angle that WWE created was kind of their own version of TNA's Beautiful People, but feeling now is laycool is hotter than the Beautiful People and can beat them at their own game. I'd like to watch that match. As noted before, I remember me telling you about this last week. Former WCW Vampiro was reportedly kidnapped in Mexico on May 31st, held captive for hours. The recent AAA Triple Mania event, everyone knew about the story, and the reaction was said to be kind of unique. Is that it was said that if anyone would have been anyone else kidnapped, it would have been a huge story. But if there was a lot of skepticism since it was Vampiro. Noted that in Mexico, if a celebrity with Vampiro's level of notoriety, that the story would have gotten a lot more publicity. They kind of think it's kind of odd. But the story is that Vampiro was driving from his home in Guadalajara, Mexico for the Triple Mania media appearance. While driving through the state, part of the state, his car was blocked by 3 SUVs, 20 masked men, and automatic weapons pulled him from his truck and stole it. Vampiro says that they took his clothes off, bound him, gagged him, and taped his eyes shut. That sounds like my ex-wife. I think she's doing that. Anyway, he says that he was one of 4 people who had their cars stolen in the same time. Vampiro said that they were driving in circles, beating him, hitting him with guns, and that sounds like could have been what happened to Vince. And anyway, threatened that they would kill him if he tried to escape. He says that they were all taken to a mountain, believing to be going to be killed, but then they were told they could leave. Vampiro says that they finally made it back to the place and called the federal police, and the police told them that their kidnappers was a gang called Zetas, a renegade military group. Well, doesn't that make a nice book? June 5th SmackDown live event from St. Louis is drawing interest at the moment, causing fans to pop. During MVP's versus Cody Rhodes match, MVP sold a punch and split his lip, I guess, spit his, wait a minute, spit, and not his lip, spit his gum high into the air. The gum landed in the aisle, and a fan who was a local wrestler picked it up, the gum, and held it high and gave it to his friends. The friend then put the gum in his mouth, and it ran in a local item. It got a big reaction from the fans, I guess. So his gum got a pop. Man. WWE's website had 12.4 million unique visitors this month in April. Their shop websites received about 633 orders. DVD shipments for the month of April were 277,000. The NXT Invasion on Raw, the recent storyline with Daniel Bryan versus Michael Cole was examples of the new company's philosophy, where they're wanting more angles out of the WWE norm. I love that. Keep it going if you can. The movement is now given the show a more reality-based feel. Word is John Cena versus Wade Barrett for the WWE title is going to be the pay-per-view main event sometime this summer. Whenever. Exact numbers aren't available yet. The NXT Invasion at the end of Raw gained around 861,000 viewers. This is average compared to most of the overruns, I guess. But people are not going to zoom in because they know the invasion is going to happen only once you get a great big number rating because of that. Nobody knew it. And we were just watching to be watching only once it pops up. Anyway, press time. John Cena still for this week's WWE live event, but depending on WWE decides what they decide to do, NXT's Invasion deal, he may be kept off TV to sell the beating and further the storyline. Wrestling Observer newsletter again says that WWE recent tour in Europe was down 18% from last year as far as attendance go. The tour averaged about 6,600 paid fans per show, while the last year's tour averaged about 8,100 fans per show. The Undertaker, by the way, underwent surgery this past week on his damaged orbital bone. As noted before, the talk is the Taker will be brought back for SummerSlam pay-per-view, and the last word plan is still do a Taker versus Jack Swagger for the world title. Of course, we've got to keep Jack Swagger with the title. Daphne's scheduled to return to action next set of Impact tapings. Chris Jericho's new gig on the game show for the ABC's downfall is a major topic of discussion within WWE right now. Chris Jericho's under a contract with WWE till fall, and his new gig has led internal concerns that he may get offers that cause him to take another hiatus again from WWE. And TNA Creative was told to get Hulk Hogan on every TV show, even if just for a moment. We want to see his face, make sure he's still there. Said there's argumentatively Hogan should be featured less, but used as special main attractions and special appearances, you know, to meet and greet the fans. But hey, about out of time. I gotta go.